What if abundance is not a random event you must hope for, but a predictable season you must prepare for? In many parts of the world, there is a long, dry season where everything is dormant. But the wise farmer does not despair. They know with absolute certainty that the rainy season is coming. And so, they spend the dry season preparing. They till the soil, they dig the channels, and they ready their reservoirs. They create the perfect conditions to receive the rain when it inevitably arrives. Your life also has its seasons. And if you are in a dry season of lack, the most powerful and effective thing you can do is not to curse the dust, but to adopt the rainy season mindset. This guide will teach you how to stop praying for rain and to start preparing for its arrival, creating a life so receptive and so ready for blessings that the universe has no choice but to pour its abundance down upon you. The Rainy Season Mindset, How to Manifest Abundance by Preparing to Receive, written and published by Success Attraction Formula. Chapter 1. Believing in the Coming Rain. Imagine a farmer living in a vast and arid land that has been caught in a relentless dry season for as long as he can remember. He has forgotten what the rain feels like, what the color green looks like, and what it means to have a full harvest. His entire life has been shaped by the harsh reality of the dust and the sun. And so, he has adapted. He has become an expert at conserving his meager resources, at rationing his water, and at surviving on the bare minimum. He never prepares his fields, he never plants any seeds, and he never looks to the sky with any sense of hope. Why would he? In his world, the dry season is not a season at all. It is simply the way things are. Then one day a traveler passes through and tells him, "A great rainy season is coming. It is the natural cycle of this land." But the farmer, so deeply entrenched in his story of lack, simply shakes his head and cannot believe it. This is the state that so many of us are living in. We have been in a personal dry season of financial struggle, of creative drought, or of relational scarcity for so long that we have come to believe that this is the only possible reality. We have lost our faith that a rainy season of magnificent abundance is a natural, a normal, and an inevitable part of life's great cycle. This lack of belief is the foundational drought that keeps our fields barren. If you do not believe the rain is coming, you will never do the preparatory work required to receive it. The transformative and most fundamental first step on this new path is to cultivate an unshakable and a deeply embodied belief in the coming rain. You must, as an act of conscious and courageous choice, begin to challenge the old story that your dry season is a permanent condition. You must open your mind and your heart to the profound and a beautiful truth that the universe, like the earth, operates in magnificent and in dependable cycles. A season of lack is always, without fail, followed by a season of abundance for those who are prepared to receive it. This is not a hopeful, wishful thought. It is a fundamental law of energy and of life. This shift in belief is the single most powerful and most important act of preparation you can undertake. It is the spiritual rain dance that begins to call the clouds to you. When you can genuinely and consistently hold the belief that your own personal rainy season of abundance is not just a distant possibility, but an impending and an inevitable reality, your entire energetic state begins to change. You move from the contracted, a fearful, and a powerless energy of the desert survivor to the calm, the confident, and the purposeful energy of the wise farmer who is simply and joyfully preparing for a guaranteed and a magnificent harvest. To cultivate this new and powerful belief, you must first become aware of the old one. You must recognize the dry season story that has been running your life. This is the internal narrative that constantly reinforces the idea of lack. The practice for this is to become a gentle observer of your own assumptions about the future. For the next few days, simply notice the automatic thoughts that arise when you think about your finances, your career, or your dreams. Do you hear a voice that says, "It's always going to be a struggle," or "Things like that just don't happen for me"? You will simply and compassionately notice this voice. You will see it not as a prophet of the future, but as an echo of the past. It is the voice of the farmer who has only ever known the dust. By simply becoming aware of this old, pessimistic story without judging it, you create a space for a new story to be planted. With this awareness, you can then begin the active practice of looking for evidence of rain. To build a new belief, your logical mind needs proof. You must begin to gather data that supports your new hypothesis that a rainy season is possible. Since you may not yet see a downpour in your own life, you will start by looking for evidence in the world around you. This is a profound shift from comparison and envy to inspiration and confirmation. When you see another person achieve a great success or experience a wonderful blessing, your old dry season story might have reacted with envy, a feeling rooted in the belief that they got the rain, which means there is less for me. Your new practice is to see their success as powerful and exciting evidence. You will say to yourself, "Look, there is the proof. The rain is falling over there. That is a beautiful sign that the rainy season is in this area and that it is moving in my direction." You will also look for evidence in the natural world, as we have discussed. The extravagant abundance of a forest, the infinite stars in the sky, these are all undeniable proof that the underlying nature of the universe is one of magnificent overflow, not of scarcity. By consistently gathering this external evidence, you are building a powerful and illogical case file that will begin to convince even the most skeptical and conditioned parts of your own mind that a new season is in fact dawning. Finally, you must begin to speak the language of the coming rain. The words you use, both internally and externally, are a powerful force that either reinforces your old belief in drought or builds your new belief in a coming downpour. You must become a conscious curator of your own language. The practice is to begin to gently and lovingly replace your old, dry season vocabulary with a new, rainy season vocabulary. The old language is filled with words like if and hopefully. If I ever get a break, or hopefully things will get better one day. This is the language of powerlessness. Your new language will be filled with the words when and I am preparing for. It is a subtle but monumentally powerful shift. Instead of if I ever get more money, you will begin to think and to say, when the new money flows in, I am preparing to manage it wisely. Instead of hopefully I will find a new job, you will say, I am preparing myself now for the magnificent new career opportunity that is on its way to me. This is not about being dishonest about your current reality. It is a powerful statement of faith. It is you, as the wise farmer, no longer just hoping for the rain, but actively and confidently speaking of it as a future certainty and beginning the beautiful and the practical work of preparing for its inevitable and magnificent arrival. You now hold in your heart and in your mind a deep and a growing belief that your own personal rainy season of abundance is not just a distant and a hopeful possibility, but an absolute and an impending inevitability. You can feel a subtle but a powerful shift in the air. The long, dry season is coming to an end. Now, with this powerful new faith as your foundation, how do you begin the essential and the profoundly practical work of preparing the very ground of your own mind? How do you ensure that when the magnificent rains of abundance do finally come, the soil of your consciousness is soft, it is fertile, and it is perfectly ready to receive them? Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 2. Preparing the ground of your mind. A wise farmer, knowing with certainty that the rainy season is on its way, immediately turns their attention to the most crucial and foundational element of their entire farm, the soil. They know that if their fields are filled with hard, dry, and compacted earth, with large, stubborn rocks, and with the deep, tangled roots of old weeds, then even the most abundant and a powerful downpour will be of little use. The precious, life-giving water will simply hit the hard ground. It will fail to be absorbed, and it will run off in useless, muddy trickles, creating erosion instead of growth. To truly benefit from the coming rain, the farmer must first do the essential and the often strenuous work of preparing the ground. They must till the soil, breaking up the old compacted patterns. They must walk their fields, patiently removing the heavy rocks of old obstacles, and they must lovingly and diligently enrich the soil with new, life-giving nutrients. The same is profoundly and absolutely true for the ground of your own mind. Now that you believe in the coming rain of your abundance, you must prepare the very soil of your consciousness to receive it. The great and the common challenge is that our minds, through years of living in the dry season, have become like that hard, compacted, and rocky soil. Our consciousness is filled with the heavy rocks of our old, limiting beliefs, and it is choked by the stubborn, tangled roots of our past failures and our unhealed hurts. Our scarcity mindset has created a kind of energetic hardpan, an impermeable layer that can cause the magnificent blessings of abundance, the very rain we are asking for, to simply run off without ever being truly and deeply absorbed into our being. The transformative and the most essential work of your preparation, therefore, is to become a loving and a dedicated tiller of your own soil. You must gently and you must consciously begin the sacred work of breaking up the old, the hard, and the compacted patterns of your own thinking. You must have the courage to walk the fields of your own mind and to patiently remove the heavy rocks of your limiting beliefs. And you must joyfully begin to enrich the soil of your consciousness with the powerful, the beautiful, and the life-giving nutrients of a new and an abundant perspective. This is not a violent or a painful process. It is a gentle, a loving, and a deeply compassionate act of spiritual and a psychological gardening. When you commit to this work of preparing the ground of your mind, you are ensuring that when your rainy season arrives, every single and a precious drop of abundance will be gratefully and will be effectively absorbed. You are transforming your inner landscape from a hard and a resistant ground into a soft, a fertile, and a deeply receptive soil, a perfect and a beautiful home for your magnificent new reality to take root and to flourish. The very first step in this soil preparation is the act of tilling, which is the breaking up of your old, the hard, and the compacted patterns of thought. For years, your mind has likely run on a set of automatic, a negative, and a scarcity-based loops. Tilling is the practice of consciously and gently interrupting these automatic patterns to create a new softness and a new receptivity in your mind. The most powerful and a simple tool for this is the practice of mindfulness of thought. You will begin to pay attention to your own thoughts with a new kind of awareness. When you notice one of your familiar, a negative, or a scarcity-based thought patterns beginning, a loop of worry, a spiral of self-criticism, a story of complaint, you will not try to fight it or to force it to stop. You will simply and you will gently till by introducing a simple and a powerful question. Is this thought actually true? Or is it just a familiar and old and a hard piece of ground? For example, you make a small mistake at work, and the old, a hard-pan thought loop of, I'm so stupid, I always mess things up, begins to play. Instead of believing it, you will gently till it. You will pause and you will ask, is it really true that I always mess things up? Or is it true that I am a capable person who has simply made a small mistake from which I can learn? This gentle and a loving questioning is the act of tilling. It breaks up the solidity of the old, a negative thought, and it introduces a new and a beautiful element of air, of space, and of possibility into the soil of your mind. The second step in preparing your ground is the patient work of removing the rocks. The rocks in your mental soil are your core, your foundational, and your most stubborn limiting beliefs, the ones that feel like unchangeable facts of reality. Beliefs like, I'm not worthy of success, or you have to struggle to survive, or good things don't last. These heavy rocks must be gently and lovingly removed for your soil to be truly fertile. The practice for this is belief examination and release. You will take one of your core limiting beliefs that you have identified. You will write it at the top of a page in your journal. Then you will act as a gentle and a compassionate archaeologist, and you will dig for the origin of that rock. You will ask, where did this belief come from? Who taught it to me? What childhood experiences cemented this rock into my ground? As you uncover its origin story, you will see that it is not a natural feature of your landscape, but something that was placed there from the outside. Then, you will perform a simple and a beautiful release. You can visualize yourself as a strong and a loving gardener. You see the large, a heavy rock of your belief. You gently and you lovingly dig around it, you loosen its hold, and then you lift it from your soil. You will hold it for a moment, and you will thank it for the lesson it taught you, for how it may have tried to protect you in the past. And then you will see yourself carrying it to the edge of your beautiful garden and gently placing it outside the fence. This beautiful and a powerful visualization, when practiced with genuine and a loving emotion, is a profound and an effective way to remove the heavy, the old, and the limiting energetic weight of your past beliefs. The third and the final step in preparing the ground of your mind is to enrich the soil with new, a beautiful, and a life-giving nutrients. After you have tilled the ground and you have removed the rocks, you must now add the powerful and the beautiful fertilizer that will make your soil incredibly and magnificently fertile. The single and the most powerful fertilizer for the soil of your mind is the high frequency and the beautiful energy of gratitude. A daily and a consistent gratitude practice is the most effective way to enrich your consciousness and to make it a perfect and a beautiful home for abundance to grow. The practice, as we have discussed, is to keep a gratitude log, but to make it even more powerful, you will now add a new layer to it. For each thing you write down that you are grateful for, you will also add one sentence explaining why you are grateful for it. For example, instead of just, "I'm grateful for my best friend," you will write, "I'm grateful for my best friend because she always listens to me with such compassion and she reminds me of my own strength when I forget." This act of explaining the why forces you to go deeper into the feeling of appreciation. It transforms the practice from a simple and a mental list into a deep, an emotional, and a heart-centered experience. This deep and a heartfelt gratitude is the richest and the most nourishing nutrient you can ever give to the beautiful and the fertile soil of your own mind, making it an incredibly and a powerfully receptive ground for the magnificent and the beautiful rains that are now so very close. The ground of your magnificent and a beautiful mind is now becoming soft, it is becoming fertile, and it is becoming deeply and a powerfully receptive. It is now beautifully, and it is perfectly ready to receive the coming rains of your abundance. But when this magnificent and a beautiful rain does arrive, where will this powerful and a beautiful water flow? How will it be lovingly, and will it be purposefully guided to nourish the specific, the beautiful, and the unique dreams of your own heart? The next and the most exciting step in our preparation is to learn how to dig the clear, the deep, and the intentional channels for your magnificent and your beautiful desires. Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 3. Digging the channels for your desires. The wise farmers of ancient and arid lands did not just believe in the coming rain, and they did not just prepare their soil. They were also brilliant and practical engineers. During the long dry season, they would engage in the crucial and the visionary work of digging intricate, a complex, and a precise series of irrigation channels throughout their fields. They knew that when the powerful and the life-giving rains did finally arrive, their work was not over. They had to be ready to guide every single and a precious drop of that water with a clear and a conscious purpose. These carefully dug channels ensured that the rain would not just fall randomly and create a muddy and an unproductive mess, but that it would be captured, it would be concentrated, and it would be guided with a divine and a perfect precision to nourish the specific and the chosen crops that they intended to grow. This is a magnificent and a powerful metaphor for the next stage of your own preparation. You have cultivated your belief in the coming rain. You have prepared the fertile ground of your mind. Now you must become a visionary and an energetic engineer. You must do the sacred and the joyful work of digging the clear, the deep, and the intentional channels for your magnificent and your beautiful desires. The great and the common challenge is that most people's desires are like a flat and an unprepared field. They are vague, they are scattered, and they are unfocused. And so, when a sudden and a beautiful downpour of opportunity, of inspiration, or of abundance does arrive in their life, the energy has no clear and a defined channels to flow into. It dissipates, it scatters, it creates a temporary and a chaotic splash, but it fails to create a deep, a lasting, and a sustainable harvest. The transformative and the most creative solution is to understand that a clear, a specific, And a heartfelt intention is the energetic equivalent of digging a deep and a beautiful irrigation channel in the field of your own life. It is the sacred and the powerful act of giving your abundance a clear and a defined path to follow. When you get crystal clear on exactly what you want to create and to experience, you are no longer just hoping for a random blessing. You are consciously and you are powerfully directing the flow of universal energy. You are telling the coming rain, "Thank you for arriving. I have prepared a perfect and a beautiful channel for you right here. Please flow in this direction." This act of creating clear and intentional channels is what transforms you from a passive and a hopeful bystander into an active and a powerful co-creator with the universe. It is the act that ensures that when your rainy season arrives, every single and a magnificent drop of its power will be used to nourish the specific and the beautiful dreams of your own heart, leading to a magnificent, a predictable, and a deeply and a personally fulfilling harvest. The first principle in digging your channels is the power of a singular focus. A farmer in a new season does not try to plant 100 different crops all at once. They choose one or two primary crops to focus their energy on. In the same way, for this 30-day journey, the power lies in choosing one, single, and a primary desire to dig a channel for. While you may have many beautiful desires, trying to focus on all of them at once will scatter your energy and will result in a series of shallow and ineffective ditches rather than one deep and a powerful channel. The practice for this is the desire clarification exercise. You will take your journal and you will revisit the list of the desires that you may have brainstormed earlier. You will look at your list and you will ask your heart a simple and a powerful question. Which one of these desires, if it were to manifest in my life right now, would create the most joyful, the most expansive, and the most positive and a transformative momentum? You are looking for the desire that holds the most energetic juice for you in this current season of your life. You will trust the first, an intuitive, and a joyful answer that comes to you. By choosing one, a primary desire to focus on for this preparatory period, you are gathering all of your creative power and you are focusing it like a master engineer on the creation of one, a magnificent and a powerful waterway. Once you have your singular focus, the second principle is to dig your channel with the blueprint of specificity. Your channel must be deep and it must be clearly defined. The universe responds to clarity. A vague desire is a shallow channel. A specific desire is a deep one. The practice for this is to create a multisensory blueprint for your desire. You will write a detailed, a rich, and a present tense description of your desire as if it has already and has beautifully manifested. You must engage all of your senses to make this blueprint as real and as tangible as possible. For example, if your desire is for a new and a beautiful home, you will not just write, "I have a new home." You will describe it in luscious detail. I am walking through the beautiful, a wooden front door of my new home, and I can smell the faint and the beautiful scent of fresh paint and of new beginnings. I can feel the smooth, the cool stone of the kitchen countertop under my hands. I can see the beautiful afternoon sunlight streaming through the large and the clear windows, creating beautiful patterns on the polished wooden floors. I can hear the joyful and the beautiful sound of my children's laughter echoing from the green and the beautiful backyard. This detailed and a sensory-rich blueprint is the powerful and the precise engineering plan for your channel. It gives the universe a clear and an unmistakable path to follow. The third and the ultimate principle in digging your channel is to carve out the deep and the powerful riverbed of emotion. A channel is not just a physical shape. It is the path that the emotional and the energetic current will follow. The deeper your emotional connection to your desire, the deeper and the more powerful your channel will be. The practice for this, as we have discussed in other contexts, is the profound 5 whys technique. This is how you will uncover the true and the emotional riverbed of your desire. You will take your specific, a blueprint desire, and you will ask why 5 times to get to its core, to its emotional, and to its soulful essence. Let us use the example of the new home. 1. Why do I want this beautiful new home? To have a safe and a beautiful space for my family. 2. Why do I want a safe and a beautiful space for my family? So my children can grow up with a feeling of stability and of peace. Why do I want them to feel stability and peace? Because that will allow them to feel secure and to be their most creative and a joyful selves. Why do I want my children to be creative and joyful? Because seeing them happy and fulfilled brings me the deepest sense of purpose. Why do I want to feel a sense of purpose? Because that is the feeling of a life well lived, the feeling of love in action. The true riverbed of your channel is not a house. It is the magnificent and the powerful feeling of love in action. This is the deep and the powerful emotional current that will draw the rain of abundance into your life. You will now infuse your entire blueprint, your entire channel, with this beautiful and a powerful core feeling. You have now become a visionary and a powerful engineer of your own reality. You have cultivated your belief in the coming rain. You have prepared the fertile ground of your mind, and you have now dug a beautiful, a deep, and a precise channel for your most heartfelt and a beautiful desire. The ground is ready, and the beautiful path is clear. But what about the size and the strength of your own personal reservoir? What if the magnificent and a beautiful rainy season brings a powerful and a benevolent flood of abundance that is far greater than you are currently prepared to hold? How do you now begin the essential and the beautiful work of building your own personal capacity to joyfully and to gracefully receive? Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 4. Building your capacity to receive abundance. A friend of mine once told me a fascinating story. He had entered a local raffle, and to his great delight, he won a prize of $100. He was overjoyed. He felt lucky, he felt excited, and he joyfully began to plan how he would spend his small and a beautiful windfall. A few weeks later, still feeling the glow of his good fortune, he bought a ticket for a national lottery. A few days later, he received a phone call. In a state of shock and of disbelief, he learned that he had won the grand prize of $100 million. Now, you would expect him to be 1,000,000 times happier than when he had won the $100. But he was not. He was overcome with a wave of sheer terror. His heart pounded, his hands trembled, and his mind was flooded with an overwhelming and a paralyzing anxiety. The thought of such a massive and a life-altering sum of money was not a joy, it was a threat. His life, his relationships, his identity, everything would change. The blessing felt like a burden. This story illustrates a profound and a subtle truth about manifestation. It is not enough to prepare the ground and to dig the channels for your desires. You must also build your own personal and an energetic reservoir, your own internal capacity to actually receive and to hold the abundance you are asking for. The great and the common challenge is that most of us are asking for a magnificent and a powerful flood of abundance, but we are only holding a tiny and a fragile teacup. Our subconscious, our nervous system, and our very identity have a small and a limited energetic container for how much good, how much success, and how much wealth we are truly and are deeply comfortable holding. And when an influx of abundance arrives that exceeds the size of this container, we can become overwhelmed, we can feel like an imposter, and we will often unconsciously and will subtly self-sabotage to bring ourselves back down to a more comfortable, and a smaller level of success. The transformative and the most essential solution is to consciously and to deliberately build your capacity to receive. You must understand that your ability to receive is not a fixed trait. It is a spiritual and an energetic muscle that can be trained, that can be strengthened, and that can be expanded over time. You must become a conscious and a dedicated builder of your own inner reservoir. This is the sacred work of expanding your own energetic and your own psychological comfort zone, of teaching your nervous system that it is safe, that it is good, and that it is normal for you to experience and to hold vast and magnificent levels of joy, of success, and of wealth. When you consciously and you deliberately work to expand your own container, you are making yourself a vibrational and a practical match for the great and the magnificent harvest that is on its way to you. You are ensuring that when the powerful and the benevolent floodgates of the universe do open, you are not a tiny and a fragile teacup that will be overwhelmed, but a vast, a deep, and a strong reservoir that is joyfully and is perfectly ready to be filled to the brim. The very first principle in building your capacity is to start by strengthening your receiving muscles with small and with daily exercises. You must begin by learning to gracefully and to joyfully receive the small and the everyday blessings and the gifts that the universe is already sending you. The practice for this is the art of graceful acceptance. For the next week, you will become a mindful and a conscious observer of how you receive the small and the good things in your life. The most common and the most powerful opportunities to practice this are with compliments and with offers of help. When a person pays you a genuine and a heartfelt compliment, you will resist your old and your habitual urge to deflect it, to minimize it, or to dismiss it. You will pause. You will take a deep and a gracious breath. You will look the person in the eye, you will offer a warm and a genuine smile, and you will say a simple, a beautiful, and a complete phrase, "Thank you. I receive that." You will simply and you will graciously allow the gift of their positive and their beautiful energy to land in your heart. In the same way, when a person offers you help, whether it is holding a door open or offering assistance with a project, you will resist the old and the conditioned urge to say, "No, thank you, I've got it." You will instead practice graciously accepting their gift by saying, "Thank you so much. I would appreciate that." This simple and a daily practice of learning to gracefully receive the small and the good things is a powerful and a profound form of training for your nervous system. You are teaching it through repetition that you are worthy of receiving, that it is safe to receive, and that it is wonderful to receive. The second and a more advanced principle is the beautiful art of savoring as a capacity builder. To expand your container for abundance, you must learn to become comfortable with holding high levels of positive and of joyful emotion for extended periods of time. Most of us, when a wonderful thing happens, experience a brief flicker of joy, and then our minds almost immediately move on to the next problem or the next to-do list item. Savoring is the conscious and the deliberate act of lingering in a positive experience, of marinating in a beautiful feeling, and of allowing it to fully and to deeply saturate your entire being. The practice for this is the 60-second savor. Whenever a positive, a joyful, or a beautiful event occurs in your day, you receive a piece of good news, you accomplish a task, you see a beautiful sunset, you have a moment of deep connection with a loved one, you will not rush past it. You will pause. You will stop everything you are doing for just 60 seconds. You will close your eyes, and you will consciously and you will deliberately savor the beautiful and the positive feelings that are flowing through you. You will feel the joy in your heart. You will feel the peace in your body. You will allow the positive and the beautiful energy to expand within you. As you do this, you can affirm to yourself, "It is safe for me to feel this good. I am expanding my capacity for joy and for success now." This simple but a profound practice of savoring is what literally and physically recalibrates your internal, an energetic, and an emotional thermostat to a new and a higher setting. You are teaching your body and your subconscious mind that a high and a sustained level of joy, of peace, and of abundance is your new, a safe, and a beautiful normal. The third and the ultimate principle in building your capacity is to create a vision of stewardship. Often our fear of receiving a large amount of abundance, especially money, is rooted in a deep and an unconscious fear that we will not know how to handle it responsibly. We are afraid that we will mismanage it, that we will lose it, or that it will somehow corrupt us. To expand your container, you must create a clear, a powerful, and a beautiful vision for how you will be a wise, a loving, and a responsible steward of the abundance you are about to receive. The practice is to take your journal and to write a stewardship plan. You will ask yourself a series of powerful and a clarifying questions. When this new and a magnificent abundance flows into my life, how will I use it in a way that is aligned with my deepest and my most heartfelt values? How will I use it to not only bless my own life, but to be a blessing to my family, to my community, and to the world. You might create a plan that includes investing in your own growth, supporting your family, donating to a cause you believe in, or funding a creative and a beautiful project. By creating this clear and a heart-centered plan, you are not only easing your own fears about handling the abundance, but you are also sending a powerful and a clear signal to the universe. You are declaring, I am not just asking for this abundance for selfish reasons. I am preparing to be a responsible, a loving, and a magnificent channel for its expression in the world. This is the sign of a truly and a beautifully prepared reservoir. You have now done the beautiful, the profound, and the essential work of preparing your magnificent reservoir. You have cultivated your belief, you have prepared the ground of your mind, and you have dug the deep and the beautiful channels for your desires. And now, you are consciously and you are deliberately expanding your own personal capacity to receive and to hold the magnificent and the beautiful blessings that are on their way. But what about the small, the invisible, and the often stubborn cracks in the very foundation of your reservoir, the old, the unhealed, and the painful wounds of past scarcity that can cause your new and your beautiful abundance to slowly and to surely leak away? How do you now find, how do you now heal, and how do you now permanently seal these leaks for good? Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 5. Sealing the Leaks of Past Scarcity. Imagine you are a master builder, and you have just completed the construction of a magnificent and a beautiful reservoir, designed to capture and to hold the life-giving waters of the coming rainy season. The walls are high, the capacity is vast, and you are proud of the beautiful structure you have built. However, unbeknownst to you, deep in the foundation of this reservoir, there are several small, almost invisible cracks. These cracks were created long ago by the tremors of past earthquakes, the old, unhealed, and often forgotten emotional wounds and traumas of your past. Now, the magnificent rainy season arrives. A beautiful and an abundant downpour begins to fill your reservoir. But as the water level rises, the immense pressure forces water into these old foundational cracks. The water begins to leak out, slowly and silently at first, and then in a more steady and a damaging stream. Before long, your magnificent reservoir, which should be overflowing, is mysteriously half empty. You have done all the work to receive the rain, but you have not yet sealed the leaks that are causing you to lose what you have received. This is a perfect and a powerful metaphor for the final stage of our preparation. We have built our capacity to receive, but we must now address the subtle, the powerful, and the often unconscious, energetic leaks of our past scarcity that can cause our new abundance to drain away through self-sabotage, through fear-based decisions, or through the sudden and the mysterious appearance of a crisis that seems to perfectly match the size of our new windfall. The transformative and the most healing solution is to become a loving, a courageous, and a conscious, spiritual plumber for your own soul. You must be willing to gently and to lovingly inspect the foundation of your own consciousness for these old, hidden cracks. This is the sacred and the essential work of healing your scarcity traumas, the old, unhealed wounds related to money, to worthiness, and to survival that we all carry. When you can have the courage to bring these old wounds into the light of your conscious awareness, and to heal them with the powerful and the beautiful sealant of forgiveness and of compassion, you make your energetic container whole, strong, and truly capable of holding the immense and the magnificent blessings that are on their way to you. Sealing these leaks is the final act of preparation. It is the act that ensures that when your abundance arrives, it does not just pass through your life, but it stays, it accumulates, and it becomes a stable and a lasting foundation for a lifetime of overflow. The first step in this healing process is finding the leaks, by identifying your emotional triggers around money and success. Your emotional triggers are the flashing red lights on your internal dashboard, signaling the exact location of a foundational crack. A leak is present whenever an event related to abundance triggers a disproportionately strong and a negative emotional reaction within you. For example, you receive an unexpected and a large sum of money, and instead of pure joy, your first feeling is a wave of intense anxiety or a deep sense of dread. This is a sign of a leak, or you are about to make a significant and a positive investment in your business or your education, and you are suddenly paralyzed by an overwhelming and an irrational fear. This is a sign of a leak. The practice is to become a triggered detective. When one of these strong, a negative, and an irrational emotional reactions around abundance occurs, you will not get lost in the feeling. You will pause, you will take a breath, and you will ask with a gentle and a loving curiosity, that is an interesting and a powerful reaction. What is this feeling really about? What is the old and the unhealed story that this is touching? This is the first step in finding the precise location of the crack in your foundation. Once a leak has been found, the second step is to gently and to compassionately investigate the root of the crack. You must understand that your scarcity traumas were almost always created in childhood, a time when you were very young, very vulnerable, and did not have the emotional resources to process a difficult or a frightening experience. The practice for this is the healing inquiry. You will take the trigger you have identified, and you will allow yourself to gently trace the feeling back in time. You can do this through a quiet, a meditative reflection, or through a journaling exercise. You will ask yourself, when is the very first time in my life that I can remember feeling this exact same way about money or about my own survival? Allow any memories, any images, or any feelings to surface without judgment. For example, the person who feels intense anxiety when they receive a large sum of money might, through this inquiry, trace that feeling back to a childhood memory of their parents receiving a windfall, and then immediately having a huge, a stressful, and a frightening argument about it. In that moment, their young and their impressionable mind forged a powerful and a subconscious link. Large amounts of money lead to conflict and to danger. This old, a painful, and an unhealed memory is the crack in their foundation that is now causing their new abundance to leak away through the energy of anxiety. The third and the ultimate step in this profound and a beautiful process is sealing the cracks with forgiveness. The most powerful, the most healing, and the most permanent sealant for the old and the painful cracks in our energetic foundation is the high frequency and the beautiful energy of forgiveness. It is crucial to understand that forgiveness is a practical and a powerful act of releasing the trapped, a painful, and a low-frequency emotional energy from your own past. The practice is to perform a forgiveness ritual. You will take the old, a painful memory that you have uncovered. You will first extend forgiveness to any other people who were involved. You will say, either silently or aloud, I understand that you were doing the best that you could with the awareness and the resources that you had at the time. For the sake of my own peace and my own healing, I now and I fully forgive you, and I release you. This is not about condoning their behavior. It is about setting your own energy free. Then, you must extend this same, a beautiful and a deep compassion to your own, a younger self. You will visualize that young and a frightened child from your memory, and you will send them your love, your compassion, and your reassurance. You will say to them, I am so sorry that you had to go through that. It was not your fault. You are safe now, and I love you. And finally, you will forgive the present day you for having carried this painful and a limiting pattern for so long. By consciously and by lovingly applying this powerful and a beautiful balm of forgiveness to your old and your painful wounds, you are performing a profound and a sacred act of spiritual and of psychological healing. You are sealing the cracks in your foundation, making your reservoir whole, strong, and perfectly and beautifully ready to be filled. You have now completed the entire and the sacred process of preparation. You believe in the coming rain. You have prepared the fertile ground of your mind. You have dug the deep and the beautiful channels for your desires. You have built a vast and a magnificent reservoir of your capacity to receive. And now, you have lovingly and you have courageously sealed the old and the painful leaks of your past. Your fields are ready. There's nothing left for you to do but to wait. But what is the nature of this waiting? How do you learn to watch the sky not with a tense, an anxious, and a doubtful impatience, but with a calm, a joyful, and an unwavering and a patient trust. Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula. Give this video a like and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 6. Watching the Sky with Patient Trust. The wise and the patient farmer has completed all of their preparations. Their belief in the coming rain is unshakable. The soil of their fields is tilled, it is fertile, and it is rich with nutrients. The irrigation channels for their chosen crops have been dug with a clear and a precise intention. The reservoirs to hold the life-giving water have been built strong and have been sealed with care. There is nothing left for them to do. And so, they enter the final and the most profound stage of the preparation, the art of watching the sky. How do they watch? Do they stand in their fields, shaking their fist at the cloudless sky, shouting, "Where is the rain you promised me?" Do they anxiously scan the horizon every 5 seconds, their hearts filled with a desperate and a needy impatience? No, the wise farmer does not do this. They know that this anxious and this demanding energy will not make the rain come any faster. In fact, on a metaphysical level, it is like creating a powerful and a high-pressure system of energy that can actually and can actively push the gentle, low-pressure rain clouds away. Instead, the wise farmer watches the sky with a calm, a beautiful, and a knowing faith. They go about their other daily tasks, but they hold in their heart a quiet, a joyful, and a confident anticipation. They trust, with every fiber of their being, in the wisdom and in the perfection of the seasons. This is the sacred and the beautiful art of patient trust, and it is the final and the most powerful state of being you must cultivate as you prepare to receive your own magnificent, rainy season of abundance. The transformative and the most peaceful solution, the final piece of your own inner work, is to learn how to master this state of active waiting. This is not a passive or a helpless state. It is a dynamic, a powerful, and a deeply and a spiritually active state of being. It is the ability to hold your beautiful and your clear vision in your heart while simultaneously and completely releasing your anxious and your controlling attachment to the specific timing and the specific form of its arrival. This is the ultimate demonstration of your faith in the benevolent and the orderly nature of the universe. When you can learn to wait, not with the contracted and the fearful energy of doubt, but with the open, the expansive, and the joyful energy of trust, you are creating the final and the most perfect and a welcoming energetic condition for your desires to manifest. You are creating a beautiful and a low-pressure system of allowance in your own energy field, a warm and an inviting atmosphere that makes it easy, that makes it natural, and that makes it inevitable for the clouds of your own good to gather, to condense, and to finally release their magnificent and their life-giving rain upon you. The very first principle in cultivating this patient trust is to develop a deep and a profound faith in divine timing. The universe, your infinitely wise and your loving co-creator, is a master and a magnificent orchestrator. It is, at this very moment, working behind the scenes on your behalf, arranging a complex, a beautiful, and an intricate series of events, of connections, and of synchronicities to bring your desire to you in the most perfect, a graceful, and a magnificent way possible. A perceived delay from your own, a limited and a human perspective is often a period of a divine and a necessary preparation from the universe's a grander and a more intelligent viewpoint. It may be that the universe is lovingly and is gracefully guiding you through one final lesson that you need to learn in order to be a wise and a responsible steward of your coming success. Or it may be that the universe is orchestrating an even more a magnificent and a more a beautiful outcome for you than the one that you have asked for, and this grander a vision simply requires a little more time to arrange all of the perfect and the beautiful pieces. The practice here is to reframe your very concept of waiting. You will no longer see it as a painful and a frustrating period of not having. You will begin to see it as a sacred and a beautiful gestation period. Like a beautiful and a precious baby growing in the womb, your desire is in a sacred and a powerful process of development in the unseen. You will trust this process. When you feel the old and the familiar urge of impatience arising, you will gently and you will lovingly remind yourself with a powerful and a beautiful affirmation My desire is in a sacred process of divine gestation. I trust that it is developing perfectly and that it will be born into my reality at the exact right and a perfect moment. The second principle in watching the sky with a patient trust is to learn how to look for the first clouds. While you are no longer desperately and are anxiously scanning the horizon for the final, a dramatic downpour, you will begin to watch with a new, a more subtle, and a more joyful awareness. You will begin to look for the first, the small, and the beautiful signs that the energetic and the beautiful weather of your life is beginning to change. These first clouds are the small and the beautiful synchronicities, the new and the inspired ideas, and the helpful and the beautiful people that begin to drift into your awareness. These are the precursors, the beautiful harbingers of the coming rain. They are the universe's a gentle and a loving way of whispering to you. The conditions are changing, the moisture is gathering, get ready. For example, you have been preparing for the rain of a new and a beautiful career opportunity. The first cloud on the horizon might not be a job offer. It might be a coincidental conversation with a friend who mentions a new and an exciting company that you had never heard of before. Or it might be a sudden and an inspired idea to update your resume in a new and a creative way. Or it might be simply seeing the name of your desired company multiple and a beautiful times in one day. The practice is to notice, to acknowledge, and to celebrate these small, and these beautiful clouds. You will keep a cloud journal, and you will joyfully and you will gratefully log these small and beautiful signs. This practice does two magnificent things. It builds your faith by providing you with tangible and beautiful evidence that the process is working, and it sends a powerful and beautiful message of appreciation back to the universe, which often and beautiful encourages the clouds to gather even faster. The third and the ultimate principle in this sacred and a beautiful art of watching the sky is the beautiful practice of the rain dance of gratitude. This is the most powerful, the most joyful, and the most active form of waiting that you can possibly engage in. It is the sacred act of expressing your deep, your profound, and your heartfelt gratitude for the coming rain before you have even felt its first and its beautiful drop. This is the ultimate and the most magnificent expression of your unwavering and your absolute faith. It is you, as the wise and the patient farmer, not just waiting for the rain, but joyfully and gratefully singing and dancing in your fields in celebration of its absolute and its inevitable arrival. The practice for this is gratitude in advance. Each and every morning, as a part of your daily and your beautiful ritual, you will take a moment to speak or to write a statement of gratitude for the beautiful manifestation that you know is on its way. You will say, "Thank you, thank you, thank you for the magnificent and the abundant rain that is now and that is beautifully flowing into my life. I am so grateful for the nourishment, for the growth, and for the beautiful harvest that it is now and that it is beautifully creating." By consistently and by joyfully generating the high frequency and the beautiful emotion of gratitude in advance, you are performing the most powerful, the most sacred, and the most magnetic rain dance of all. You are becoming a perfect and a beautiful vibrational match for the beautiful reality that you are calling into your life, and you are creating a warm, a beautiful, and an irresistibly welcoming, energetic atmosphere for it to finally and for it to beautifully arrive. You have now completed the entire and the sacred and a beautiful process of your preparation. You have cultivated your unwavering and your beautiful belief. You have prepared the fertile and the beautiful ground of your mind. You have dug the deep and the beautiful channels for your most heartfelt and a beautiful desires. You have built a vast and a magnificent reservoir of your own, a personal capacity to receive. You have lovingly and you have courageously sealed the old and the painful leaks of your own, a personal past. And now you are watching the beautiful and the magnificent sky with a calm, a joyful, and an unshakable and a patient trust. Your beautiful fields are ready. The beautiful atmosphere is perfect. What happens in that magnificent, that beautiful, and that holy moment when you finally and when you beautifully feel the very first, a precious, and a life-giving drops of rain begin to fall upon your skin? Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 7. When the First Drops of Rain Fall. A wise and a patient farmer, after a long and a dutiful season of preparation, is standing in their beautifully tilled and a ready field, watching the sky with a calm and a knowing trust. Then it happens. A single, a cool, and a precious drop of rain lands on their outstretched hand. What is their reaction in this sacred and a long-awaited moment? Do they look at the single drop with disdain and say, "Is that all? I was expecting a flood"? Do they dismiss it as a random and an insignificant anomaly? No, the wise farmer does something profound. They close their eyes, they smile a deep and a heartfelt smile, and they feel a wave of profound and of overwhelming gratitude wash over their entire being. They know that this single, a beautiful drop, is not just a drop. It is a promise, it is a signal. It is the definitive and the undeniable confirmation that the season has turned, that the long and the dry season is over, and that the magnificent and the life-giving downpour they have been so patiently and so faithfully preparing for is now and finally beginning. This is a perfect and a beautiful metaphor for how you must learn to respond when the very first and the beautiful signs of your own abundance begin to manifest in your life. The great and the common challenge is that when the first, the small, and the often a subtle drops of our own rainy season begin to fall, we can fail to recognize them, or we can dismiss them as being too small and too insignificant. We have asked for a magnificent and a powerful flood, and the universe delivers a small and unexpected check in the mail, or a single, a new, and a small opportunity. And our old, our impatient, and our scarcity-programmed mind can react with disappointment. Is that it? That's not enough. This act of dismissing the first drops is a critical and a common mistake. It is an act that communicates a lack of appreciation and a lack of awareness, and it can significantly and powerfully slow the momentum of the coming and a beautiful downpour. The transformative and the most joyful solution is to become a master of acknowledgement. You must learn to see, to celebrate, and to honor every single and a beautiful first drop of your manifestation with the same a profound, the same a joyful, and the same a grateful excitement as the wise and the patient farmer. You must understand that the universe almost always begins its delivery process with small, a manageable, and a beautiful test drops. It is whispering to you, "Here is a small and a beautiful sign to let you know that I have heard you and that your manifestation is on its way." Are you paying attention? Are you ready? When you can learn to respond to these first and these beautiful drops with a resounding, a joyful, and a grateful yes, you are sending a powerful and a clear signal back to the universe. You are confirming that you have received its first and its beautiful message, that you are a conscious and an appreciative partner in this beautiful dance, and that you are wide open and you are ready for more. This act of joyful and of grateful acknowledgement is what opens the floodgates, and it transforms the first, a gentle trickle, into a powerful, a magnificent, and a benevolent downpour. The very first principle in mastering this response is the simple and the powerful art of conscious acknowledgement. Your very first and your most important job is to simply notice. You must have your energetic and your perceptual antennae up, and you must be vigilantly and you must be joyfully on the lookout for the first and the beautiful evidence that your new reality is beginning to manifest. As we have discussed, these first and these beautiful drops can take many and a beautiful forms. It might be a physical manifestation, like finding a $20 bill on the street, or receiving an unexpected and a small discount on a purchase. It might be an opportunity-based drop, like a coincidental phone call from an older friend who has a lead on a new job for you, or a new and a small client who finds you out of the blue. It might be an informational drop, like stumbling upon the perfect and the beautiful book, or the perfect and the beautiful article that contains the exact and the beautiful piece of information that you needed to solve a problem. The practice for this is to keep a first drops journal during this exciting and a beautiful phase of your journey. Every single time you notice one of these small and a beautiful manifestations, one of these first and a beautiful drops of rain, you will immediately and you will joyfully log it in your journal. This act of writing it down makes it real, it makes it tangible, and it helps you to see the beautiful and the magical pattern of response that is beginning to unfold in your life. The second and the most joyful principle is the beautiful act of celebrating the small wins. It is not enough to just passively and to silently notice the first and the beautiful drops. You must celebrate them with a genuine, a heartfelt, and an overflowing enthusiasm. A celebration is a powerful and a high-frequency energetic event. It is a beautiful and a powerful feedback loop that sends a massive and a beautiful wave of positive and a beautiful energy back to the universe, powerfully and a beautifully reinforcing the very experience that you are celebrating. The practice for this is to create your own, a personal and a beautiful celebration ritual. For every single and a beautiful first drop that you log in your journal, you will perform a small and a joyful act of celebration. This does not need to be a grand or an expensive gesture. It is about the energy of joy that you bring to it. Your celebration might be as simple as taking a moment to do a quiet and a happy dance in your living room. It might be treating yourself to your favorite and a beautiful cup of tea. It might be calling your trusted and a supportive crew member to joyfully and to excitedly share your good news. Or it might simply be the act of placing your hand on your heart, a closing your eyes, and a feeling a wave of deep, of profound, and of overflowing gratitude and a beautiful joy wash over your entire and a beautiful being. By consciously and by joyfully celebrating every single and a small win, you are powerfully and you are beautifully aligning your energy with the frequency of success and of receiving. You are telling the universe, with your joyful and your beautiful energy, "Yes, I love this. This is amazing. More of this, please." The third and the ultimate principle in responding to the first and the beautiful drops of rain is the beautiful practice of wise stewardship. When the first and the beautiful drops of your new abundance, especially financial abundance, begin to arrive, you are being given a beautiful and a divine test. The universe is watching to see how you will handle this new and a beautiful resource. Will you be a wise, a grateful, and a responsible steward of its gifts? Your actions with the first and the small amounts of abundance are a powerful and a clear indicator of your readiness to handle the larger and the more magnificent amounts that are waiting to flow to you. The practice here is to treat every single and a beautiful first drop of your financial rain with the utmost and the beautiful respect, with a conscious and a beautiful intention, and with a beautiful and a joyful gratitude. For example, you receive an unexpected and a beautiful check for $100. The old and the scarcity-based mind might immediately and fearfully use it to just pay a small part of a bigger bill with a feeling of, "It's not enough." The wise and the beautiful steward, however, will treat this $100 as sacred and a beautiful seed money. They will first feel a profound and a beautiful gratitude for it. Then, they might choose to use a small and a beautiful portion of it for a joyful and a beautiful celebration. They might use a portion of it to generously and a beautifully bless someone else. And they might use the main portion of it to wisely and a beautifully invest in their own personal growth or their beautiful business. By being a conscious, a grateful, and a wise steward of the first and the small drops, you are powerfully and you are beautifully demonstrating to the universe that you are ready, that you are responsible, and that you can be trusted with the magnificent and the beautiful flood that it is so eager to send you. You have now learned how to joyfully, how to gratefully, and how to wisely respond to the very first and the beautiful signs of your own personal rainy season. You know how to acknowledge the beautiful drops, how to celebrate them with a joyful and a beautiful enthusiasm, and how to be a wise and a beautiful steward of their beautiful potential. The beautiful clouds are gathering, and the gentle and the beautiful rain is now beginning to fall, more and more, steadily. But what does it mean to live your life when the downpour has fully and has beautifully arrived? What does it mean to move from a season of preparation and of waiting to a magnificent, a beautiful, and a permanent and a new season of a constant, a joyful, and a beautiful overflow? Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula. Give this video a like and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 8. Living in the Season of Overflow. The long and the dry season is now a distant and a beautiful memory. The magnificent and the life-giving rainy season has fully and has beautifully arrived. The once parched and a cracked ground is now a lush and a vibrant green. The magnificent reservoirs that you so lovingly and so diligently built are now full to the very brim and are overflowing with a clear, a beautiful, and a life-sustaining water. The beautiful fields are rich with a magnificent, a bountiful, and an abundant harvest. This is the beautiful and the magnificent season of overflow. It is the joyful and the beautiful culmination of all of your faith, of all of your preparation, and of all of your patient and your beautiful trust. The wise and the beautiful farmer, in this magnificent and a new season, does not now suddenly and fearfully lock their gates, hoard their magnificent bounty, and live in a constant and a nagging fear of the next and a possible drought. To do so would be to deny the very joy and the very purpose of the harvest itself. Instead, the wise and the beautiful farmer enters the season of overflow with a new, an expansive, and a generous spirit. It is a time of a joyful and a beautiful celebration. It is a time of a grateful and a beautiful sharing, and it is a time of a wise and a beautiful preparation for the next and an even a more magnificent season to come. This is the final and the most a beautiful and a magnificent stage of your own personal journey. The final and the most a common challenge is to learn how to live gracefully and how to live joyfully in your new and your magnificent rainy season, without the old and the familiar fear that it will all be taken away. People can achieve a magnificent and a beautiful abundance, but can still and can unconsciously operate from their old and their scarcity mindset, hoarding their new and their beautiful resources, and living in a constant and a nagging fear of losing them. The transformative and the ultimate solution, the final and the most a beautiful and a magnificent chapter of this guide, is to fully and to completely embrace and to embody the mindset of the overflow. This is the profound and the beautiful shift from the energy of finally having enough to the magnificent and the expansive energy of always having more than enough. It is a state of a profound, a deep and an unshakable peace and a beautiful generosity. It is the quiet, the calm, and the confident knowing that you are not just a person who has received abundance, but that you have now and forever become a person who is abundance. When you can successfully and can beautifully integrate this mindset of the overflow into the very core of your being, you are no longer living in a cycle of a boom and a bust, of a rain and a drought. You have learned how to create a permanent and a sustainable ecosystem of a constant, a beautiful, a joyful, and an ever-expanding prosperity in your own, a magnificent life. The very first principle of living in this beautiful and a new season is to make the joy of circulation your new and your beautiful way of life. A beautiful and a healthy river is not a stagnant and a dead pond. It is a constantly and a beautifully moving and a flowing current. In the same and a beautiful way, the key to keeping your own a personal rainy season going indefinitely is to participate in the divine and the beautiful law of circulation. You must understand that the abundance that flows to you is not meant to terminate with you. It is meant to flow through you. You must become a clear, a beautiful, and an open channel for the universe's a magnificent and a beautiful generosity. The practice here is to embrace joyful giving as a natural and a beautiful expression of your new and your beautiful state of overflow. This is not about a dutiful or an obligatory tithing. It is about joyfully, and it is about spontaneously sharing a portion of the abundance that flows to you from a place of a genuine and a heartfelt fullness. When you feel that beautiful, that warm, and that expansive a desire to be generous, to leave an unexpectedly a large and a beautiful tip, to anonymously and a beautifully pay for the coffee of the person behind you, to donate to a cause that deeply and that beautifully touches your heart, you will do so freely, you will do so joyfully, and you will do so without any a single thought of what you will get in return. This beautiful and a powerful act of joyful and of generous giving is the ultimate and the most a beautiful statement of your own, a personal abundance. It is you, a beautifully and a powerfully declaring to the universe, I have so much, I have more than enough. My source is infinite and is inexhaustible. And it is this very and a beautiful act of joyful and of generous giving that keeps the magnificent and the beautiful universal river flowing to you and a beautifully flowing through you, endlessly and a beautifully and forever. The second principle is to understand the beautiful wisdom of preparing for the next season, even in the midst of your current and a beautiful harvest. The truly and the beautifully wise farmer knows that life is a series of a beautiful and a continuous cycles. The ultimate and the beautiful state of mastery is not to just enjoy the current and the beautiful harvest, but to wisely and to joyfully use the resources and the beautiful energy of this harvest to prepare the ground for the next and an even a magnificent and a beautiful season to come. This is how you create an ever-expanding and an ever-increasing spiral of a beautiful and a magnificent abundance in your life. The practice is to invest in your own growth. You will take a portion of the new and the beautiful abundance you have received, whether it is your time, your money, or your energy, and you will joyfully and you will wisely reinvest it in yourself. You might invest in a new course to learn a new and a beautiful skill. You might invest in your health by hiring a personal and a beautiful trainer. You might invest in your own a spiritual and a beautiful growth by going on a beautiful and a transformative retreat. By constantly and by joyfully investing in your own a personal expansion, you are ensuring that you are always and are beautifully preparing the soil of your own a personal being for an even a greater and a magnificent and a beautiful harvest in the future. You are signaling to the universe that you are a person who is committed to a lifelong and a beautiful journey of a growth and of an expansion. The third and the ultimate principle of living in the season of overflow is to finally and to completely embody your abundance. At this final and this most a beautiful and a magnificent stage, you come to the profound and the beautiful realization that abundance is not something that you have. It is something that you are. It is not a condition of your bank account. It is a condition of your very soul. You are no longer a person who is living in the rainy season. You have become the rain itself. You have merged with the flow. Your life becomes a beautiful, a magnificent, and an effortless expression of the divine and the beautiful qualities of abundance itself, of grace, of generosity, of creativity, and of joy. Your work is no longer needed. Your very being is now a magnet for miracles. Your presence is a blessing to others, and your life has become a beautiful, a magnificent, and a powerful testament to the simple and the profound truth that when you have the faith to prepare for the rain, the universe will always, and it will without fail, deliver a magnificent and a beautiful flood. You have now walked the complete and the sacred and a beautiful path of the rainy season mindset. You have learned how to cultivate the unwavering and the beautiful belief in the coming rain. You have learned how to meticulously and to lovingly prepare the fertile and the beautiful ground of your mind, to dig the deep and the beautiful channels for your most heartfelt and a beautiful desires, to build a vast and a magnificent reservoir of your own, a personal capacity to receive, and to seal the old and the painful leaks of your own a personal past. You have learned how to watch the beautiful and the magnificent sky with a calm, a joyful, and an unshakable and a patient trust. You have learned how to celebrate the very first and the beautiful drops when they fall. And now you have learned how to live your entire and your magnificent life in the beautiful, the magnificent, and the permanent, and a new season of a constant, a joyful, and a beautiful overflow. This is not the end of your beautiful journey. It is the beautiful and the magnificent beginning of a life that is lived in a deep, a beautiful, and a trusting, and a magnificent partnership with a benevolent, a beautiful, and an infinitely and a beautifully abundant universe. We have come to the end of our journey together, a guide to shifting your mindset from one of hoping for abundance to one of actively and joyfully preparing for its inevitable arrival. You have learned how to cultivate the belief in your coming rainy season, how to prepare the soil of your mind, dig the channels of your desires, and build your capacity to receive. You have learned to watch the sky with patient trust, to celebrate the first drops when they fall, and finally, to live in a magnificent and ever-expanding season of overflow. You now hold the blueprint for a life lived in beautiful and trusting partnership with a universe that is always ready to bless you. Thank you for the honor of your time and for your commitment to preparing for your own magnificent rainy season. It has been a joy to be your guide. If this masterclass has helped you align with a new and more abundant reality, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the Success Attraction Formula channel for more empowering guidance. We would be thrilled to read about the new blessings that are beginning to rain down upon your life in the comments below.